Will Branded Fusion ever go back to 3? And I think that it's very likely to go back to 3 at some point. You guys see how ban lists are done with Konami over the years, and if you don't know, this is the pattern. Essentially, they want most cards to be unlimited or banned unless they have to be banned, and those cards that have to be banned eventually get errataed, which means, they will basically have their effect changed so that they could come into the metagame with that, because we saw Brain Control, which, like, Brain Control came out in the Lost Millennium, but it seems like anything after, like, the Lost Millennium is fair game. Like, Change of Heart's not getting errated, Pot of Greed, Graceful Charity, those things probably aren't going to get errated. So that means a lot of things will eventually come back on the ban list. I was a Shadal player back in the day, and Shadal Fusion was the original branded fusion, where you got to send monsters from your deck to the graveyard to make a fusion monster that broke your opponent's board. So that's branded fusion's kind of similar in that regard, where the deck just, or where the card just allows you to go second and then still, like, establish a board and then extend and break your opponent's board. So it's really, I could see it going back to 3, but I think it might take some time overall. I wouldn't expect it in the next couple lists. I think they put it there for a reason. They want to see how Branded does with it at 1, because I think Konami sees in Master Duel it's doing just fine at 1. So I think they're going to try to do other things before they bring it back to 3, in my opinion. I could be wrong, because we see other things on ban lists where, like we saw gate opening of the spirit gates. I believe that went to 1 literally on the ban list, and then on the next ban list it went to 3. So, and you guys have seen on Master Duel too, where they've hit Druid Swarm and Saronir, and then they brought back to 3. Same with branded opening. So there's precedent for TCG Konami to bring back cards. So the precedent's there. I just think it's just like, how generic, how splashable is branded fusion? And I think if Dragon Tail has 3 branded fusion, that might be pretty crazy, I'm not gonna lie. But overall, I'm still not convinced that branded is the absolute best variant of Dragon Tail. We'll see how it even goes, because I think Dragon Tail, frankly, just needs a 1-card starter that goes first, because as of right now, they don't have one. So without that in their arsenal, I think even then branded fusion could be their 1-card starter, right? So we could see it come back to boost Dragon Tail potentially.